everybody, welcome back to another video, and today in this video I want to briefly talk about what I'm going to be doing regarding 2025. So, I don't really have a lot to talk about, I'm sure you all know this. The go-kart is completely finished now, so the thing that this whole channel is based around is there's not a lot happening with it anymore, so as a result of that, I don't have much to talk about. But I do have some content lined up for you, so I've got. It's not like lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of ideas, but I'll think of more ideas. I've got some meaningful content coming out for you guys in the future, but as of now, I do want to talk about what I'm going to be doing this year. So the main things that I'm going to be doing, which this may just be a complete repeat of my previous video. I'm trying so it's not, because I want every video to at least be somewhat meaningful, but yeah, so what I'm going to be doing in 2025 is probably the biggest thing, the most important thing on my list, is going to be getting my apprenticeship. Now, in case this is your first video, because, it's a new year, and by the way, although it is late, Happy New Year to all of you. Basically, I am trying to become a mechanic. I've already done my qualification for it, and I'm job hunting now. So, be a matter of time to see how that goes. But that is something that I want to do. I want to become a mechanic. This is not going to be the full-time job for the rest of my life. I want to make that clear. I have two key careers in my life. The first one's going to be mechanics. The second one, you all should probably know about, is like the next thing on my priority list, is that I want to fix up the go-kart. Now, to some of you, that might not make a lot of sense, because I just spent all of 2024 fixing the go-kart. What do you mean fix the go-kart? It's not 100% completely done completely. There are still a couple of things that I want to do with it that I either didn't have time to do before the major work presentation, or they're just things that are just not as important, so I didn't prioritize them, and I didn't have time to do them before the end of the year. Battery, that was the first one. Yes, probably the most important one out of all of them was the battery, because the battery is completely dead. It is gone. When I tried to start it, I'm pretty sure I did say this in my video just before the end of the year, that it didn't start on stage in front of it would have been at least 150, maybe even 200 people watching. No one saw that coming. No one saw that coming. I really wanted it to start in front of everyone, and so it was a bit sad when it didn't, but I played it off. It was alright. It would have been great if it started, but unfortunately, it didn't. So the main culprit for that is the battery. The battery, after my track day, which is a video I uploaded at least a month ago, maybe I reckon it was probably 2 months ago now I uploaded it. And that track day, the battery was completely shot afterwards. It only started, when I say it, the kart only started one time after the track, and every other time it ever tried to start, it failed. So, and I don't mean like turning over, like it was turning over, it was about to start, and then it ran out of power, and then I had to charge the battery up again. No, I mean like the last time I tried to start it, which was on stage in front of everyone, it basically just went, like it probably tried half of a single crank, and then it just fell flat on the floor and died. So I need a new battery. That's like the top priority thing on fixing the kart now, is getting a new battery. And the reason I'm saying fixing the kart is because technically the kart doesn't work, because it doesn't start. Yeah, if the kart doesn't start, it doesn't work. So, yeah, after a year of fixing the kart, guess what I have to do? I have to fix the kart. Again. So, it's nowhere near as big as what I had to do last year. That was massive. That was literally fixing the entire kart from not even track legal to it's track legal. It just won't start. But I do have proof that it did start, and I showed that on my presentation, so that way people knew that it would actually start. It just had stage fright and didn't want to do it on the day. So that's my main top priority thing is replacing the battery. Then next thing is one of the other things I was going to talk about before I move on is the piston. Now, the piston, it's not necessarily that I don't think there's anything wrong with it, but I do want to at some point. This is probably the second thing on my priority list, is that I want to upgrade the engine to the Evo version. Now, the reason I don't just buy a new engine or buy a second-hand Evo engine is because my channel has always been about like fixing a go-kart. Using my mechanic skills that I learned over the last 2023 and 2020. So last 2 years, over the last 2 years, to fix a kart, and I wanted to challenge myself because it's easily the most difficult thing I've done, apart from some other things that aren't related to the channel at all. So I won't talk about them. But like, I've done difficult things, but none of them have lasted a full year and were like a full-on endurance marathon. None of them were an endurance marathon that lasted a whole year. So there's some difficulty. But that's all finished now, and all I've got to worry about is just these other littler things. So in terms of making my engine the Evo version, I would rather upgrade it than just chuck the engine out and buy a new one. Especially since I've done a lot of work to the engine to make sure it actually worked. I replaced lots of bits to make sure it was all good. So I don't particularly want to replace all those bits to then just chuck the engine away 2 months later. That doesn't sit well with me. Money was spent on that engine. I don't particularly want to just throw it out. In terms of fixing the go-kart, I've got replace the battery. I've got upgrade to the Evo engine. Then I'm literally done. The only other thing that I literally just remembered as I was saying that is that I also want to replace the spark plug. I don't have to replace it, but it's old and it may have been, as well as the battery, been a contributing factor to why the engine didn't start. Although I do suspect it was the battery. The other thing I do want to do is actually race the kart, but that's a topic for another day. It's very complicated and it costs a lot of money. It's complicated. Things get difficult very quickly, so I'd rather not place my bets on that too early. I'd rather just focus on the two things that I can absolutely do, which is get the engine in tip-top shape and get a job so I can actually get some money, so that way, it'll be easier to afford the go-kart bits. So yeah, that's my general plan for 2025. So basically, that's everything. Mainly I'm fumbling for words right now and I don't really know what to say. It's because I really don't know what to say. Everything's finished now, so what is there to talk about? Yeah, until something big happens, there's not a lot to talk about. But I also don't want to just not upload for a month, because then it seems like the channel is dead. And also nothing significant's happened because the go-kart isn't fixed yet. So I don't really want to go really, really, really long times without uploading, because then it feels like I'm just being lazy as hell. And I don't like being lazy. I like being productive. So, yeah. But yeah, I will actually say one more thing, is that, like I was saying with how some things have changed, if you might have seen that there's a particular thing in this video that has changed. If you check the last video of last year, which I believe was like the 20-something of December, I think. It was a couple of days before the end of the year. It wasn't long. And yeah, if you look at that video, you'll see that there's some things that have changed. So 2 things in particular. If you can catch those 2 things, if my comments section is even alive, I do check it. There's never anything there. That's fine. I don't mind. But if you guys do find the 2 things that have changed, you can put it down in the comments. If it's even alive, but it's worth a shot. Anyway, it's all just stuff. Again, just over there. So yeah, I'm mainly fumbling for words, and this is sounding really badly unscripted because I really have nothing to talk about. So, yeah, I hope something significant happens soon so that way I can talk about it and I won't be just rambling on. But yeah, so that's everything. And hopefully something big happens. And I'll see you next week. Bye, everybody.